Oh, there you go.
That was an error.
Okay, so we don't have our hair and makeup people. We don't have the production
The camera
people.
just got turned on. Welcome to the Great American Pot Show. We're Weedtubing on YouTube, obviously.
I like the green. The green looks good on you. Usually he's wearing a white scarf. Okay, we're keeping this to 11 minutes, guys. We're smoking OG Trump. It has nothing to do with Trump, as we've said before, but I am forever changed, and I will never be able to use the word Trump, even trumpet. I won't even be able to refer to the musical instrument for like
trumpet. You
years.
Won't be able to say?
Nope.
Because it has trumpet.
Too scarred.
Wow, that's intense.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're we're dealing. We're shell shocked.
Not quite Zeta.
I think we're exhausted. I was going to ask you, did you read the article in the New York Times, which I actually had a hand in that article? You know my whole.
So guys, I am appalled by what the New York Times reported on, and you can listen to it on the Daily.
Wait. First, I have to ask you
this. Is that the one you're talking about?
No. I'm talking about a different story, actually. The one, because I did not have anything to do with that story.
Okay.
About the SWAT thing.
Let's talk about the SWAT teams, because I'm worried about you growers.
That story actually came as a shock to me, which it shouldn't. But I'm talking about a story that I did have a hand in because I know the writer and we had a session. But the whole idea, it was written by, well, let's just say he is a psychotherapist, a psychoanalyst, and there was a question. His point was, when a therapist deals with a psychotic patient, at first it's the therapist who feels crazed, disoriented, doesn't know what to do, how to think, can't process, is totally confused, thinks that he's failing, all of this stuff. And then you slowly come to recognize that as like, oh, that's what happens when I'm in the presence of psychosis. So as a country, we're in the presence of psychosis, which is Donald Trump. We're the analyst, if you will. He's the patient. We're kind of forced to deal with this patient. And there's a lot of there are ways to deal. You have to stay vigilant, you have to be aware, you have to stay alert, you can't let yourself get sucked into that. But the problem is exhaustion. Ultimately, the analyst feels exhausted at a certain point. So I think that right now, and my theory is that when you're a therapist and you're with a patient, that exhaustion is very localized. It's in that room, it's you, and you have no fucking support. But as a nation, we have a lot of support. We have each other. We have to allow ourselves to get exhausted, pass the baton as we take a rest, and know that other people are in that moment feeling refreshed, just had their nap. So right now I'm feeling very, very nappy. I think my apprentice Lauren is as well. And sometimes when you want to take a nap, you got to take a nap.
Got to sleep it off.
Got to sleep it off.
Yesterday, I wanted to throw hot oil on people. Today, I just, I'm just in a puddle of water.
There you go.
Ready to go to bed.
There you go. So did you want to talk about, first of all,
the SWAT teams?
The SWAT teams. So,
okay, I just want to say, if you live in Texas and you're growing weed, just want you to know, it's really nice in California. Please consider for your life safety moving here or to Oregon or to Washington or Colorado. I know it's probably difficult. You have your roots, you have your family, you want to be close, but your life is more precious and worth it. And until we get out of this weirdness with weed, I mean, there was this SWAT team story where, like, basically now cops are using as routine SWAT teams, so they don't have to knock. They can just, like, barrel down your door. And in both stories that was talked about on the Daily or in the New York Times, they were both weed growers. And this poor dude in Texas and his sleeping girlfriend who was pregnant they get startled by, they think it's a burglar and he's got a rifle and he kills a cop. And now he's in jail and he's capital punishment. He's got to thank God he had his girlfriend there. I mean, it's terrible this cop died. And terrible now this kid's life's ruined, and like, you know, and
The
all
fact
because
that SWAT teams are banging down doors, doing what were they calling it? Knockless warrants.
Yeah.
Knockless warrants, which are a real thing.
Real thing, and they're doing them. This is routine now, guys. Routine, and there's no stats. They're not keeping track of this. They're not reporting this.
But I just want to say, in a somewhat weepy way, and I know that I have personal connections there, so this is not a personal thing, but the New York Times, just the level, okay, so maybe it's slightly left wing or what have you, but the level of competency and seriousness and research that goes into the New York Times is really like weep worthy.
We're very lucky.
It really is.
We're very lucky we have them. They're
really
the
is.
keepers of our democracy right now. Them and the Washington Post.
And
I have to switch arms here because my
president that basically says that they are, you know, trash and fake news and failing is incredibly. I mean, I don't know. I was going to say it's incredibly sad, but I was going to have to put that on because I don't fucking feel sad about it at all. I mean,
I feel
it's
weepy.
Pathetic.
Today I do feel weepy about...
I feel weepy about the goodness of the New York Times.
I feel weepy about just the lack of function. And, of course, today what happened in London, you know, I was sort of waiting for something catastrophic to happen. I actually was thinking something catastrophic would happen here in the U.S. And I feel very sorry and sad for people over in London. But it just... Anyway. All right. We're down tonight. It's bad.
Yeah. Well, no, tired. Super tired, and that's a real, you know, exhaustion is a shamanic tool because you go to sleep and you dream. And I know the past few nights I've had some really intense dreams.
Really intense dreams. You want to share your dream about the ski lift?
I don't think I can share that tonight. I did knock down a ski lift in my dream. I was flying in a balloon, and I gently grazed a ski lift, and it came tearing down. My balloon was fine, but the ski lift came crashing down.
Okay, I'll share something personal. So my family and I are at odds. Some parts of my family and I are at odds politically. And do I have it here? Yes, I do. Hold on. My mom left this with me, which she read and she thought I would appreciate. So my mom and I are differing right now, but this is an interesting thing that she left me. Do not be conquered by evil, but conquer evil with good, says St. Paul. The measure of our humanity. And then there's this whole article about the measure of humanity. And look at this paragraph. There is something in every life that must be confronted. Death, social injustice, personal conscience. The only question is whether or not we'll do it. Too often we go through life without even recognizing what needs to be done, let alone contributing to its resolution. Then we leave both life and ourselves unfinished. How sad. And you could walk for desegregation. You could hold pray-ins for peace. You could refuse to allow people to ignore the evils of life, to just laugh them aside or argue their way through one subject or another. You could confront indifference. And I'm just like, wow.
Now you're moved because your mother gave you this page?
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm just like, you know, speaking about a woman who's standing up, you know, for against abuse of women, deterioration of educational levels in the school system, the need for the arts. I mean, all these things that are going on, you know, we're going to lose the arts, we're going to lose funding for our schools. And I'm just like...
Well, we won't lose the arts. We'll just lose funding for the arts,
Well,
which
yeah.
could be a blessing. You don't know.
YouTube.
Could be a blessing.
In our case, it was a blessing.
That's
We
right.
lost the funding for our show.
So you have to
and now
like
we have-
respect the conservative perspective, which is like money going to fucking shit that, you know, what do we feel entitled to that? We feel entitled to money for the arts. We
Yeah.
feel entitled to, you know, health care.
Yeah.
I mean, all of these things are entitlements, and you have to understand retirement. You have to understand that, you know, it doesn't make sense to all people in this country to just give people things. And that when people stop getting things, then they have to get up off their butts and start doing shit for themselves.
All right, it's one way to think about it.
Yeah.
Anyway, do not be conquered by evil. Conquer evil with good. Booyah! Great American Pot Show.
Subscribe,
Subscribe,
comment,
comment.
like.
We got a cool comment tonight
We love you.
on Meet the Shaman.
We love you.